Daisy Bates, November 11, 1914 to November 4, 1999, was an American civil rights activist, publisher, journalist, and lecturer who played a leading role in the Little Rock integration crisis of 1957. Daisy Bates was born on November 11, 1914, to her father Hezekiah Gatson, and her mother Millie Riley. She grew up in southern Arkansas in the small sawmill town of Huttig. Hezekiah Gatson supported the family by working as a lumber grader in a local mill. Her mother Millie Riley was murdered when Daisy was an infant, and the girl was given care to her mother's close friends, Orlee Smith, a World War I veteran, and his wife Susie Smith. Her father Hezekiah abandoned her, and Daisy never saw him again. In The Death of My Mother, Bates recounted learning, at the age of 8, that her birth mother had been raped and murdered by 3 local white men, and her body thrown into a millpond, where it was later discovered. Learning that no one was prosecuted for her mother's murder stoked Daisy's anger about injustice. Her adoptive father, Orlee Smith, told her that the killers were never found and that the police showed little interest in the case. Daisy wanted vengeance. She later wrote, "My life now had a secret goal, to find the men who had done this horrible thing to my mother." She eventually identified one of her mother's killers. At a commissary, she stumbled upon a gaze from a young white man that would imply that he was involved. After this interaction, Daisy would go there often to belittle the drunken man with just her eyes. The young man later pleaded with Daisy, "In the name of God, please leave me alone." He drank himself to death and was found in an alleyway. She began to hate white people. Out of concern and hope, her adoptive father gave her some advice from his deathbed. "You're filled with hatred. Hate can destroy you, Daisy. Don't hate white people just because they're white. If you hate, make it count for something. Hate the humiliations we are living under in the South. Hate the discrimination that eats away at the South. Hate the discrimination that eats away at the soul of every black man and woman. Hate the insults hurled at us by white scum, and then try to do something about it, or your hate won't spell a thing." Bates said she had never forgotten that. She believed that this memory supported her strength for leadership in the cause of civil rights. Before Daisy was exposed to her biological mother's death, she often played with Beatrice, a white girl around her age. They shared pennies for hard candy, and got along well. Bates' childhood included attendance in Huttig's segregated public schools, where she learned firsthand the poor conditions to which black students were exposed. Orlee Smith died when Bates was a teenager, leaving her with her mother. Bates deeply appreciated her father, leading to her own assumption that she married her husband because he shared similar qualities with her father. Bates had great adulation for the man where she couldn't remember a time when this man I called my father didn't talk to me almost as if I were an adult. In contrast to their relationship, Daisy had an austere relationship with her mother. Susie Smith would punish Daisy and, often clobbered, tamed, switched, and made to stand in the corner. Even after the death of Orlee Smith, the two had a falling out. Daisy was 17 when she started dating Lucius Christopher Bates, an insurance salesman who had also worked on newspapers in the South and West. Daisy was only 15 years old when they first met, and Lucius was still married to Cassandra Crawford. Lucius divorced his first wife in 1941 before moving to Little Rock and starting the Arkansas State Press. Daisy and L.C. Bates married on March 4, 1942. In 1952, Daisy Bates was elected president of the Arkansas Conference of NAACP branches. After their move to Little Rock, the Bateses decided to act on a dream of theirs, the ownership of a newspaper. They leased a printing plant that belonged to a church publication and inaugurated the Arkansas State Press, a weekly statewide newspaper. The first issue appeared on May 9, 1941.